Heyo, I'm Ori, and today I want to talk about pixel art. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about for a while since art is what I primarily do, but I thought I would structure this video in a way that also helps beginners. I notice a lot of beginner games will have really nice concepts on paper, but when I actually play them, the art will either be okay or a little hard on the eyes. Personally, I don't believe art should make or break your games, but the concept of appeal is important, and if you want people to play your games, you need to have art that looks appealing. So, here are a couple tips that can help you improve your pixel art. Tip number one is use reference. Now, this may seem obvious, but with art in general, a lot of people seem to think that artists just create everything from their imaginations, like we're this factory that just makes art without any outside influence at all. This leads to some beginners to feel lost because they don't know where to start. Now, most people can draw a person, but how will you know how to draw a person without looking at a person? Using reference is in no way taboo, and if you want to improve your art, it helps to use reference. Tip number two is find the style for your project. The biggest thing when making art is making sure everything flows together in a seamless way. A lot of beginner projects will have characters that look amazing and heavily detailed, but in the background would look very crude or rushed, and it won't blend with the character. This makes your game look very amateur, and it can very easily deter people from even trying the game. Make sure to spend some time having everything come together so that nothing stands out unless you're trying to make a game with mixed graphics, like Hilux or something. Tip number three, try to understand basic color theory. Now, you don't have to know every color down to its hex code, but knowing how colors should come together will kind of help your art thrive. There's a basic rule of appeal that you want to follow when making characters. Here, look at this character and look at this character. If you had to pick between the both of them, which one of these characters is the hero? I assume most of you picked this one because it's obvious, right? Making characters that fit into clear categories using color can help people understand the character's motive. Tip number four, keep things simple. I know a lot of people want their game to have the best looking graphics and the most detailed pixel art ever, but it's crucial to remember that pixel art is designed to stay simplistic. Now, I'm in no way saying don't push yourself, but understand as an indie dev that chances are you're making all the art by yourself, or at the very least have someone else helping you. A great test I use is gauging how much time it took me to make a single character, and then I ask myself, would I be willing to spend time making the rest of the art match this character? Be honest with yourself, because as beautiful as that character may look, it's going to be hell creating the entire world. Tip number five is draw your art first. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, obviously, but I'm more suggesting that the tip is for traditional artists looking to get into pixel art. It's also great for beginners too. Something that helped me improve my pixel art was simply just drawing the characters on paper or on my tablet and then using that as a base for my pixel art. Sometimes it's hard to find out where to start because all you're looking at is all these little pixels, so drawing it traditionally can help you get somewhere to jump off from. Tip number six is keep your art organized. Now, sometimes you want to go back and find a piece you worked on, or just access a palette you love and you can't find it because your workspace is a mess. Now, our workspaces will get messy. I mean, this is my desktop currently, but it's just kind of part of the nature of being an artist. But every now and then, make sure to come back and clean up and organize your files. Keep your palettes in a neat folder so you can quickly access them later, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Tip number seven is use online palettes. Sometimes you have a character that's already made, but you're just really struggling with the color. I mentioned previously that understanding color theory will help you, but if you want to get inspiration or just find a certain mood without having to adjust the colors constantly, then I recommend Low Specs Palette Selection. This site has a wide range of color palettes that you can use, and it's completely free. I highly recommend this site for beginners and veterans because it's extremely helpful, and sometimes you just want to get a palette and start getting to work. Tip number eight is be open to critique. Now, you can't improve without learning how you can improve. So being open to feedback is important. Now, of course, sometimes people will have nothing important to say or offer nothing constructive to work off, but it's good to try to determine what's constructive and what's just trash. But when people genuinely want to offer advice on how you can improve a piece, it's good to take note and see how you can use this advice to improve your work. Which actually brings me to my most important tip. Tip number nine, do not compare yourself to others. I know it's easy to go on Instagram or Twitter and just see amazing art that looks like it was made by an entire studio. And this can be extremely demotivating, but it's important to focus on your own work and not others. I recommend staying off social media when working on art because it can really bring you down. Speaking of, and kind of more of a bonus last tip, is don't drag yourself down. This is something I see a ton of artists do, and it's something that's always bothered me. People will say, oh man, you're so good at art. I can't even draw a stick figure. And one, yes, you can. Don't lie to me. And 2, bringing yourself down won't help you improve. If you can't even believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to believe in you? You can do anything you put your mind to, and everyone started where you started, not knowing where to start. I hope this video was helpful in some capacity. I know pixel art can be hard for beginners, so I wanted to make sure this video was accessible and informative as possible. You may have noticed some micro sprites that I was designing throughout the video, and I thought it'd be nice to provide some free assets to the community. I'll provide a download link in the description, but I want to try and cover enough to help someone get started. There's a main character, a little enemy, a house, and 4 different scenes, as well as some items and little doohickeys on the scene. You're allowed to use and modify these assets in any way to your liking, and I hope they can help you in some way or another. It's also why this video took a little longer than usual. Making stuff is hard work. If you want feedback on your pixel art or simply want to join a community of other artists and game devs, you can find my Discord and Twitter in the description below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.